DNA Studios. Step into a new dimension.
Hello guys, welcome back to another DNA Studios episode. Yes, that's right, it is another normal, regular episode. I do have another guest. Unfortunately, what's been going on is that we've been having trouble kind of getting in touch with each other and kind of been missing each other. I took one day off last week, so yeah, hope you missed me. I'm back. Anyway, with that, let me do my quick introduction and then we'll get started. I do have something cool to talk about with you guys today. Now, today is kind of an older show that came out, actually, I think it was last year, I believe. Let me just double check. I believe it was in... No, yeah, I'm sorry, 2023, yes. Yeah, it was last year, yeah. Season 2, I think, came out last year, but the Season 1 actually has been out for a while. In 2020, I believe, was either 2020 or 2023 was the first season, I think. So yeah, 2022 to 2023. So yeah, this is an older title. I will be doing the new shows for this that are coming out more recently. I will be doing some reviews and some videos on those soon. So stay tuned for that. I do have a couple older shows to cover first. So yeah, anyway, like I said, let me do my intro and we'll get started. So anyway, if you guys are not familiar, if you guys don't know, my name is A. Goldman or Aaron. I'm your host and also one of the founders and creators of DNA Anime Blog and DNA Studios, our YouTube channel, which is this channel you're watching right now. And we do a bunch of anime stuff. We do reviews, we do unboxings, we have a podcast where we interview actors, which is Nerds of the Decade, which some of you guys who've been watching know, and a bunch more other stuff. We do have a couple writers who write some cool articles on anime. And we do get in touch with some pretty cool conventions and go to cons and check out some pretty cool stuff. We do feature cosplayers on our website, so if you're a cosplayer and you want to be featured for your costume or you just want to jump on and post your cosplay pictures, we do have a cool place where people can post your cosplay pictures, which is really cool, and it's a slideshow. You can just kind of post your stuff. It's really awesome, and it'll flip through automatically. So yeah, that's kind of who I am. It's a little bit about DNA Anime Blog and DNA Studios. And we've been around since 2016, so yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much if you guys have been supporting us and watching us. I can't tell you how grateful I am to all of the people who follow and who watch the content here. I know YouTube's algorithm and Facebook and Instagram have been a total mess lately, but I thank you for all the support and everything you guys have been doing. Do try to grab some merch. We do have these cool mugs, as well as I do have a cool DNA shirt up on our site. We have shirts and mugs that do have our logo, and also our both of our logos, our studios logo and our DNA logo. So we do have shirts on our Bonfire store. Actually, usually I would wear my shirt. I don't have it on today, but yeah, we do have really nice, high quality shirts on our store, as well as our mugs are really cool, and also we have tote bags and hats. I will be showing you guys a hat sometime soon. I do want to show that on the channel and kind of give you guys an idea of the quality. Our shirts are really nice, one of our DNA shirts, but I do want to show you guys the hats, which I will have sometime soon. Anyway, with that, guys, let me get into today's actual episode. So today, I will be talking about something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, actually, that I haven't been able to talk about because the show has not fully been out yet. It just finished just recently. So, with that, whoopsie daisy. With that, let's get into this. I will actually play the trailer for you guys. Keep on, you can watch either the subtitle trailer or the dub trailer. It doesn't really matter. Both of them are good, in my opinion. I jump between subs and dubs all the time. And with how they're doing simulcast dubs and also with the subtitles, either way you go, most of the time the show is really, really good, or they've done a fantastic job. My feeling is that the dubbing process has gotten a lot better, and they are trying to cast better actors and trying to match the Japanese as close as they can. And they do a pretty good job usually. So I actually love the English voice actor. Shout outs to you, Adam Gibbs, the voice actor for Shadow in this show. Really awesome voice actor and also really cool character. So if you guys don't know, yes, that's right, I gave it away. The show I will finally be talking about is The Eminence in Shadow. which I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Now, if you remember, I did a first impressions for this one, but I did not go into more detail, as I didn't want to give away any spoilers or anything in case people were still watching it. Now, if you are still watching it, warning, I might give out some spoilers, and there might be some stuff in this episode you haven't seen yet, so don't watch this if you have not seen the whole show yet. Now, I'm going to try not to give any spoilers, but I might actually give some. So I will try not to, but I warn you, if there might be some spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch this show. This is a wicked show to check out, so do check this one out. It is one of the ones that was on the top of my list. I recently finished watching it, and it was sick. So yeah, without ado, let's play the trailer for you guys. So let me move my mic over here.
This is your first performance as the Eminence in Shadow.
Oops. Hold up.
I was blessed with a new life. Stay sharp. This is your first performance as the Eminence in Shadow.
It's the Eminence in Shadow.
I was blessed with a new life, and in a new world, no less. I pooped. And I was given magic. We are Shadow Garden. It is our mission in life to annihilate the cult of Diablos. A group of zealots who are plotting to revive the great demon. They never come out into the light of day. My name is Shadow. He who lurks in the shadows to hunt the shadows.
I will give you my life, and I will punish the guilty with death. It is exactly as you had predicted, my lord. I have only words of admiration for your foresight and meticulous planning.
Excellent. But now I need more power. Compromise is not an option. I am atomic.
Oh, yeah, so that is Shadow. Now, this series blew me away when I first watched the first episode. I was hooked. And the reason for that is because the main character, the main protagonist, Shadow, kind of breaks the rules for every, like, badass MC. In the way that he thinks and also in the stuff that he does. The first season there are some really funny moments in there where he doesn't start out with magic. So he starts out as just an ordinary guy in a just kind of like your normal everyday world with no magic, no powers, no nothing. And his goal is to actually be able to help people, to save people, which is in the very first episode kind of what he tries to do, and he ends up dying. He does end up saving one person, but he dies later on after that, trying to attain magic and to kind of be, the Eminence in Shadow. And so later on, when he finally he does get a second shot in life. He does come back to life, or he gets reborn. He does get a second shot at life later on. He comes back he gets revived into another world, which, you might be saying at first, oh, this is an isekai. You'd be right. This show is an isekai, but there's a good twist to this one. And the way that he comes back in the world that he gets revived into, he does have magic. As well as a bunch of other crazy abilities that he just goes on. But his thinking and the way he uses it and just the stuff that he does. So one of the things that kind of makes him unique is that he has this I don't know if you call it an alter ego, but this other perception of kind of just blending in at first, in which he plays just your ordinary mundane man or your ordinary background character, and he just tries to kind of blend in without anyone knowing that he's Shadow or that he's this atomically powerful character. And he does gain the ability to survive a nuclear blast and more, which is crazy. And he gets abilities that are like just unbelievable. It's crazy. You have to watch the show to see. So he in the beginning he plays himself off as just this regular old dude who is not really that strong, who's not that great, right? He's just an average guy blending into his school life and everything else. But secretly, or at least at least in the dark and during nightfall and when nobody knows, he kind of will go off at night and in certain times and kind of be the Eminence and Shadow without trying to make it look like, or well, trying to make sure no one finds out that he's Shadow. And he covers it up pretty well in the beginning by playing this just ordinary background character, which is actually kind of funny and also pretty entertaining to watch in the beginning. And then towards the end of season 1 into season 2, which you will, if you have seen season 1, you'll know that season 2 it only gets better from there. Season 2, he kind of in the beginning he still is playing some of that ordinary persona, but more into season 2 he drops the he drops the whole thing about trying to blend in. Now he does compete in tournaments in season 2. So if you haven't watched season 2, go watch season 2. It's pretty sick. He does compete in season. He does compete in a fighting tournament in season 2, and he does actually defeat the princess, which is if you guys don't know, his sister competes in these fighting tournaments and see who's strongest, and they're knights, so they compete to defeat creatures and also to become stronger, right? And so they have this kind of Colosseum kind of tournament, and his sister is competing in it, and so she doesn't know that he's Shadow just yet. She hasn't figured it out yet. Now later on in season 2, she does figure it out, but she doesn't know. And so he fights in these Colosseum tournaments and these fighting tournaments. And he does actually, so how can I put it? He drops the background character bit later on, but he plays this, he doesn't want to enter as himself, because if he enters as himself, people will figure out that he's Shadow. So because of the way he fights, people will know his fencing style or his fighting style, they would know that he's Shadow. So what he ends up doing is he ends up going with this mundane man gig, which is hilariously funny and also pretty convincing, but then eventually later on into the series he does reveal himself as Shadow. Well, not him, but not his actual self, but Mundane Man. He reveals Mundane Man as being Shadow, or he pretends to fool everyone into thinking that Mundane Man is Shadow. And so, which is really cool, and just the way that the character, the writing is so good in the show. The way that the character does stuff is not your average, like he's not your average OP character. So if you've seen other shows like like Dragon Ball Z or other series where you have this really powerful OP characters, most of them are pretty arrogant and you just know that they're a badass, right? This particular Shadow himself takes badass to a new level, but also is different than what your average badass character is, and Shadow himself is really badass to the point where I would love to see a battle between him and Anos Voldigo. If you've ever seen Demon Academy with Anos, you'll know that Anos Voldigo is really powerful, which is another character another podcast and another Daniel Series episode and podcast. I would love to talk about Voldigo in that, because Voldigo and Shadow are two really cool characters. But if you've seen any other anime where you have really powerful characters, normally it's your standard OP, crazy, powerful, character. This is not the case with Shadow, as the way that he goes about things is just, let's just say it's very different from your normal OP characters. And that's kind of what makes the show so good, is that he breaks the mold for your OP, overpowered, crazy, crazy, strong or powerful character. But he's not the only one, because in the show, all of Shadow Garden, Shadow actually helps them to get stronger and actually trains them and makes them stronger. So it is pretty crazy to see how he runs this entire organization. And in the beginning, he doesn't believe. In the beginning, things kind of happen. So once he gets the second shot at life, once he comes back, after he dies and he comes back, he gets reincarnated, of course. And when he comes back into the world that has magic, at first he doesn't really so he tells all of the people that join Shadow Garden that there's this evil force, and these villains in the shadows that don't reveal themselves, as you guys heard in the preview, right? But at first, I don't think he really believes it himself, because he kind of just makes it up. But then later on in the show, you realize that Shadow Garden's been doing all this stuff and like defeating these bad guys and like chasing this villain, right? And doing all this stuff. And when they report back to Shadow, he's like, "Oh, great, that's fantastic." And he kind of plays it off in the beginning as, "Oh, that's fantastic," right? He's like, "Great." He's like, continue defeating the bad guys and defeating this evil enemy that hides in the shadow, right? And there's a couple scenes in the first season where it is just absolutely hilarious. It's just funny, and it makes him that kind of breaking the fourth wall, or just kind of playing kind of the weak, pathetic, not weak, but playing the average everyday person so well that nobody knows that he's actually Shadow, is really different from what you'll see in other shows. Most strong characters don't try to hide it, or at least the ones that I've seen don't try to hide it. They usually, once they're powerful, they just blow up the world or take over or whatever the case may be. But with Shadow, he's a little different. He thinks different. He does things different. And it's really awesome. The series blew me away. The trailer is freaking awesome, and the voice acting is pretty good. I love the characters in the show. It's awesome. If I ever get a chance to, I will do an unboxing. I'll try to find a figure of Shadow and do an unboxing. I would love to do that at some point. In fact, Crunchyroll, if you see this and you have and you don't have any Eminence and Shadow figures coming out, please do come out with one, because convince the Japanese to release Eminence and Shadow figures, because we all really need an Eminence and Shadow figure. So yeah, there probably is one out. I just probably don't know about it. Anyway, so yeah, this show blew me away. The story, the characters, everything. I was on the edge of my seat watching it, and that is also why I didn't do this deep dive into this series. Now, also in season 2, you'll notice that they bring in the element of vampires to this series. So there's the Blood Queen who he fights, and there's also a nine-tailed fox character who you learn about in season 2, who some pretty bad stuff happens to her, but she ends up joining Shadow Garden and stuff like that. So yeah, season 2 takes what season 1 did and just it kind of just bumps it up to 11. So now I'm still waiting to see whether there will be another season. I know there's going to be a movie. There's a Eminence and Shadow movie coming out soon. So I'm hoping that if they do a movie, they will also do a season 3. I'm hoping it gets a season 3, but it really depends on how many people like the show and watch it. I, for one, was impressed. It's one of my favorite shows to watch, actually, right now. Along with some other ones, like Solo Leveling is coming out, which is really cool. I've been checking that out, and a bunch of other ones. But this is one of my ones on my top list, and I wanted to do this deep dive for this show. Now, I'm gonna try not to give away too much with season 2, because, like I said, there is vampires, and there is the nine-tailed fox chick, which is kind of cool. But season 2, like I said, just bumps everything up to 11. There are some really good fight scenes in season 2, and the ending now. So the end, let's see. How can I put it? I felt like it still wasn't over, to be honest with you. He does defeat the Blood Queen, and yeah, he does defeat some of the villains. But if you've been watching kind of up till now, you'll know that he's still fighting this organization in the shadows and defeating the villains, and he does cripple the whole, so there's a whole economy, a whole money system, a whole bank system, which he cripples in season 2 only because of what's going on during the show. There's a organization who is buying up and using money to they're doing creepy and evil stuff, and so Shadow plans to cripple their entire bank system. Now, keep in mind that Shadow Garden kind of already owns most of the shopping industry and all that stuff by this time in the show. So Shadow kind of cripples his own organization on purpose so that he can draw the bad guys out, or draw the villains out to defeat them. So in doing so, right, he doesn't tell anybody about this, and he cripples their whole Shadow Garden's whole entire, because they own a giant shopping mall, and his Shadow Garden organization kind of, let's just say they get huge, and they buy into stuff, and they create this whole giant organization, and they kind of own this giant shopping mall. And it's really awesome to see, actually. If you watch the first season, they explain this, and then in season 2, when he goes to cripple the entire district, which he does, and so he does this just to draw out some bad guys to be able to find the Blood Queen, and to also defeat not to defeat the Blood Queen, but also to find out who's behind everything that's going on, which is cool. And so he does all of this and doesn't tell anybody. So yeah, like I said, the season 2 just goes above and beyond. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it just keeps you locked in. I am not sure. I know the manga goes pretty far. The manga goes actually even further than the anime, I believe, at this time. I've been itching to read the manga for this series. I'm actually not exactly sure how many volumes they're up to now on the manga, but if you do check out Eminence and Shadow, and you have been following along and watching this series, it is pretty awesome. So the genre of Eminence and Shadow is action, comedy, fantasy, isekai. So it is kind of still an isekai title, but not your normal isekai. So reincarnation, there's that factor in there too. So it's one of those reincarnated action, fantasy, isekai, action, comedy genres, right? And it has been amazing. I can't wait till the movie comes out to see what they do. Hopefully it'll be in theaters. If you guys are looking for something to watch right now, if you're wondering, there is a Cowboy Bebop movie out in theaters. I do recommend going to see it, even if you're a Cowboy Bebop fan. Some people aren't. But yeah, if you are, go check that out. That's pretty cool. It's cool to hear your favorite voice actors in theaters. You never know, you might see me in theaters. So if you're in the Baltimore area, or if you're in the Maryland or Baltimore area, you might see me in theaters. So yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit about Eminence and Shadow. I hope I didn't give away too much spoilers. This series is amazing, and I highly recommend watching it. I hope if you guys are watching this series, I hope you guys really like it. I can't wait till the movie. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oops.
Your wish has been granted.
Farewell. Anyway, guys, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Hi there. Please subscribe or follow DNA Anime Blog and DNA Studios on all of their social media platforms. Okay, bye!